أضم صوتي إلى المتحدثين السابقين لتهنئة فخامة الرئيس وشعب جنوب السودان على هذا الحوار الوطني. كانت إحدى زياراتي الأولى التي قمت بها كمبعوثة للاتحاد الأفريقي للشباب في العام الماضي إلى جنوب السودان. حينها تمكنت من رؤية المعاناة التي يعجز عنها الوصف والتي يعيشها الشباب في جنوب السودان. أخبرني الشباب كيف يعيشون في خوف على حياتهم ومروا بكل شيء، الحرب والنزوح بالإضافة لما تعرضت له الشابات والبنات للاغتصاب والعنف الجنسي. شاركني الشباب أيضاً واقع افتقارهم للتواجد في الحيز المدني والمجال السياسي، فهم يخشون الانخراط في الحوارات ذات الطابع حكومي أو سياسي بسبب اختلاف آرائهم. As a young person, as we celebrate today, and I want to also congratulate again His Excellency the President of South Sudan, I join my voice to the previous speakers for the National Dialogue. And I also congratulate the people of South Sudan. But allow me, Your Excellencies, to also be honest. Young people, the millennials, are hustling. They are carrying a lot of pain, and they need a lot of healing. And that healing can come from transitioning to more trust building with them. COVID-19 has deepened the suffering. The youth are saying, it's same for me to die of hunger or violence or die with coronavirus because I do not enjoy basic human rights as a young person. About half of South Sudan population is under 18 years old, 72% under the age of 30. It is considered to be demographically the youngest country in Africa. And this makes South Sudan a land of immense potential if we look at young people as an opportunity and contributors to nation building. But instead, they feel there is a distrust between youth and elders. I met young minds with great ideas, but they said they would stay as far as possible from politics. This distrust pushed out young people of leadership, of governance, of political parties, of negotiation tables. The youth of this country are asking not for a favor. They are asking for the legitimate right, their right to life, their right to freedom, to dignity, to employment, to education, the rights they deserve as any other young person in our beloved continent. They watch the struggle for power, the self-interest, the self-serving decisions, and they wonder, is it fair for our generation? They wonder, isn't it a betrayal for our generation? What kind of word are you leaving for us? The loss of this generation, our leaders, is your responsibility, because young South Sudanese don't produce, sell, or buy guns. They go into violence because of the tragedy they live in. Young people will not forgive if we don't all stand behind them and take this opportunity of the national dialogue to make things right. You, our leaders, are accountable to them. All delegates assembled here, you have the historic responsibility, the generational accountability to make this dialogue inclusive of their aspirations. Because this is not your future you're talking about, this is theirs future. It's the young people's future. It's the future of the girl child I met this week in Rumbek, who is denied education and making life for herself in the market and risking abuse, child marriage, and teenage pregnancy. You are making decision for that child right now. Some would say, but the young people are divided. The young people are either perpetrators of violence or victims. the youth are lazy and unmotivated. In fact, young people are looking out for role models. So what role models are you providing for them? What message are you sending to the youth of this country? What identity are you installing in this generation? Is it that of unity, of national dialogue, or that of ethnicity and division? It's your decision. They look up for leaders who are not there to serve their tribe, but to serve all South Sudan and lead by example. The youth of South Sudan are misunderstood and stereotyped. Majority of young people I met are peace builders and driving innovation, but their work go often unrecognized and documented with no type of support. Look at the youth who have been at the forefront of COVID-19 response and who have shown their resilience and innovation and unity of action. Their story needs to be the mainstream, not the exception. That's why the Continental Framework on Youth, Peace and Security, adopted recently at the AU Peace and Security Council, is extremely important because it recognizes youth as agents of positive change. It recognizes the need to combat stereotypes and discrimination by age and gender. I come back here to South Sudan the past few days to commemorate Africa Youth Day, but also to rally young people to join the African Union Youth Silencing the Guns campaign. In line with 2020 theme of the AU, Silencing the Guns, Creating Conducive Conditions for Africa's Development. After a few days of engagement, both in Juba and the Lake State, 3 main demands from young people I'd like to share with you, Your Excellencies. 1, greater inclusion. We recognize there has been inclusion, there has been consultation and grassroots work. Considerable and commendable effort has been invested in the national dialogue process. But youth are asking to be part of this process meaningfully. They ask you to use them to take it where young people are. They ask you to use their networks, their technology, their genius to innovate in this dialogue. There is a pressing need to organize platforms for young people that rise above ethnic and political boundaries, that create an environment where youth are free and secure to participate in dialogues. You need young people. You need 72% of the population confidence in this national dialogue. 2, action. They want meetings and conferences followed by action. They want you to walk the talk. They want commitment followed by delivery. They want a full implementation of the peace agreement. They want a paradigm shift from combative, hostile politics to politics of constructive engagement and cooperation that should be underpinned by constitutionalism and respect of the rule of law. They want progress, not empty promises. 3, intergenerational co-leadership, which means the dialogue needs to be intergenerational, because conflict is aggravated by the lack of communication and collaboration between generations. The generation that fought for independence, the generation building the nation state, and the youthful population navigating a world of violence and inequality. And they are not asking you to pass the torch to them later, because that implies that the leaders of tomorrow, not today, which is not true. Young people do not want to inherit systems they didn't co-design. They want to co-lead with you now. So let's open those channels of communication, because young people of your countries are exhausted. They even created a movement called Ana Ta'ban, I'm tired. I appeal to you, our leaders. We cannot let this happen under your watch. You are the decision makers. You are the people in power. You cannot leave this dialogue without genuinely committing yourself to justice of your own young people. There is no military solution to conflict. Young people have willingly and voluntarily gave up guns in Rumbek. If you give them justice and hope and livelihoods, they can do it anywhere. Because violence sometimes is just a language. Those youth also need to be empowered and rehabilitated. Young South Sudanese are ready to make impact. Are you ready? The impact they want to make might not be comprehended, but cannot be denied. They deserve a seat at the table and in the revitalization process to make peace possible. As the Special Envoy on Youth of the African Union, I stand behind their demand for peace because they have endured enough of wars, and they deserve the safe, secure, and peaceful South Sudan they want. Shukran.